Ketu in the fourth house. Ketu in the fourth house is a placement where the individual needs to become confident of everything that they attach their sense of comfort, their sense of security, their sense of well-being and happiness to. What makes you happy? What has given you comfort? What has been the basis of the foundational years of your existence? If you prioritize that feeling and build upon it, you'll be able to achieve a lot in this lifetime. The only problem here is there is a tendency to be too attached. There is a tendency to be too emotional. There is a tendency to dwell in your comfort zone a lot longer than is warranted. You see, if you are born with Ketu in the fourth house, then this is a placement where most often there isn't something bad at home, there isn't a lack of comfort, there isn't a lack of resources or love or anything. Most of these people, they grow up in life and they have kind of a comfortable home environment. Things are okay, things are good, things are fine. Unlike Rahu in the fourth, which can create a lot of fluctuations in energy to begin with. Ketu in the fourth shows that the individual is pretty much at peace handling domestic situations. Domestic life has been more or less stagnant, so to speak. But it's rarely chaotic so as to push you away towards Rahu in the 10th. However, the biggest lesson that your soul needs to learn in this lifetime is to release the security of home and venture into the unknown. Ketu in the fourth is going to give you a lot of things that most people dream about having and they do not have access to. With Ketu in the fourth, it's quite possible that you were born into a home, even if things were pretty humble and pretty okay. You had a car, you had a phone, you had a nice television, you had a nice computer, you had all the important things that you need to spend life with fun and pleasure. That was not a problem. If you look at the examples of people who have Ketu in the fourth house, Donald Trump is one of them, Beyonce is another. And if you study their lives, you will find that they grew up in a pretty comfortable home environment. It is building upon that comfort. You have to build upon it with the understanding that, I have this is something that we've always had. What if I were to multiply it? What if I were to make it bigger? What if I were to use these natural abilities and talents that I have been gifted with respect to managing resources, managing my bank balance also, that's Ketu in the fourth. With respect to knowing how to manage my domestic affairs and my internal feelings, maintain that internal clarity. With respect to what I want to pursue, what I want to move towards. It's when this realization dawns upon the individual that they start awakening to the true level, to the true extent of their abilities and powers in this world. Okay? Now, how this normally plays out is this. You have Ketu in the fourth house. Ketu mahadasha comes along and you have to leave your homeland. Or Ketu mahadasha comes along and you have to let go of material security, maybe to start a business and move from a job and move towards a business. Ketu mahadasha comes along and it's quite possible sometimes that people lose a lot of assets in this period. And so that is why Rahu in the 10th is what is more emphasized here rather than Ketu in the 4th. But in reality, what you need to focus here, what you need to understand is Ketu people are experts at being at home anywhere they go. This is the kind of celebrity, this is the kind of, public persona. This is the kind of business person. This is the kind of, top-notch executive, business honcho who travels with their entire entourage. They need everything just right if they're going to travel with it. I think Prince Charles is also another example that's coming to my mind with this placement. And, recently when he was coronated as king, it was discussed how many things he travels with when he's going on a visit to one of the Commonwealth countries. Obviously, he is the king, so that much of accessorization is warranted in his case. But normally you will see Ketu in 4th house people, they are great at working hard, creating the life that they want, but they have quite often these set of idiosyncrasies and these things that they hold dear to their heart, that they feel comfortable with, that they seek to carry along with them. These people can settle anywhere, work anywhere. These are the kind of entrepreneurs who will be at home working, in a coffee shop, who will be at home working in the middle of nowhere if you give them a good internet connection. That is what in fact they'll specialize in. Okay, so we have to do this meeting in, let's say, Tajikistan. Fine. Okay, so there is some investor that's coming to meet. Okay, sure. I mean, I just need this. They will list out few points for you and they will make anything happen anywhere. If you have Ketu in the 4th house, we're not going to go into the aspects of Rahu in the 10th. For that, go and watch the video of Rahu in the 10th. But if you have Ketu in the 4th house, you have a good enough idea of how to create security. You have a pretty good idea of the internal clarity with respect to what your work needs to be out there. The only thing that you need to grow out of is this reconciliation of what you're doing with how you're feeling. Sometimes things do not feel the best, but practically that is the best course of action. Sometimes you will intuitively feel a lot of things and they may result in you holding back. But with Rahu in the 10th, the practical steps that you need to take to move towards it is what is your spirit's purpose in this lifetime. That's what your soul's desire, to learn, to go through the processes and experiences that force you to put in the work with respect to things that are required. Any kind of business, any kind of venture that you want to start, you have a great understanding, you have a great idea of just how much resources it's going to take, what sort of funding you need for the process, or what sort of a setup you need to create. You have the know-how of all of that. It's in maintaining the fine balance between what you are intuitively drawn to and what is rationally, logically, practically, what is required in any situation that you need to master in this lifetime. With Ketu in the 4th, the individual has a natural intuition as well, which may be quite developed. And a lot of people think that people with Rahu in the 10th house, they're just workaholics. No. That's not the case at all. This is why we're discussing the Ketu aspects. People with Ketu in the 4th house, they have, even if they don't believe in anything that has anything to do with astrology, spirituality, mysticism, etc. Even if they don't believe in any of these things, they have a very good knack of judging circumstances, situations, and opportunities. This is a knack that you guys have. And to succeed in life, to be able to move towards your Rahu and also grow massively, to be able to have the conviction, that is the most important thing here, that with Rahu in the 10th, first of all, I require the conviction for all my plans to be able to work 12 hours a day. Because quite often with Rahu in the 10th, what happens is, the plan's there, the ambition's there, but there's just no conviction. Like, okay, so you're telling me that in order to get this company off the ground that I'm building on the topic of AI, I'm going to have to put in 12 hours of work. I'm going to have to work with people around the world, and I'm going to have to go calculate these costs, these measures, and work with this security agency and that security agency, convince people about the perils of AI being a lot less than actually the advantages, etc., etc. All of these intricacies are going to come up in your life, and then you feel that is it even worth it? So Ketu in the 4th house is telling you that, look, if what you are working towards here feels good, that is all the clarity that you need. The resources may or may not be there, but you have a natural understanding of how to marshal them, how to create them. Ketu in 4th house people are people who are entrepreneurs in the, proverbial sense of entrepreneurship, wherein you actually learn how to jump and figure out how to make a parachute on your way down. That's the kind of power that Ketu in the 4th gives you. Because internally these people reach a complete state of calm, and when they finally move towards Rahu, they're operating from a lot of clarity and a lot of understanding. If this placement is not working out for you, that's because you're trying to get everything together before the effort has begun to reveal to you the real face of your work, the real face of what you're producing in the world. If you are, let's say, a sculptor, sure, you need marble blocks to start with, you need the right tools and everything and all of that, right, true. But if you fuss too much about the quality of marble, if you fuss too much about lighting conditions and the quality of your tools, it's never going to happen. You're never going to be able to start. Let go of this idea of perfection with respect to the raw materials and start focusing more on how does it feel to move in that particular direction. If in moving towards a direction that truly calls out to you, you feel good, and this feeling is the same as the feeling of being comfortable and happy in that home, in that relationship environment, if all of this is pretty consistent, then you are moving in the right direction. And once you start moving in any particular direction with respect to any particular goal you may have, that's when you now need to switch off this Ketu and start focusing on the day-to-day action, the day-to-day plan, hour-to-hour plan, hour-to-hour action, monthly plan, quarterly plan. After that, it's all about meeting targets. Okay? But Ketu in the 4th house is, quite often a very underrated placement. Because everybody is talking about Rahu in the 10th, and very few people talk about the understanding, this very intricate knowledge that Ketu people have of being able to tap into this clarity within themselves, of being able to tap into this quite often, empty space, this void that calls out to you to go out there and create something. Okay? And this is going to tell you a lot whenever you find yourself stuck in life, because every time you move towards Rahu and you get tired, you fall back on Ketu. And coming back to Ketu always, you will find new ambitions, new ideas sprouting in your head. Whenever you tap into that feeling, okay, what do I feel is missing? What do I feel I want to truly do? I want to spend my time doing. What is that space that I need to tap into? And the more you learn how to spiritually tap into the side of your personality that you hold within, the better the clarity with which you are able to construct the world out there that people see. Okay? I hope this was helpful. If it was, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you can stay abreast of all the wonderful content that I post here. Push the bell icon so that you can be notified every single time I post. And if you want a personal session with me, you can get one by going to the link in the description box. It's going to take you to my website. Fill up the form. Once I get the form, I will respond to you. I will, come back with a date and time, and then we'll take it further from there. Okay? Thank you so much. Adieu.